It's another day at school. Teacher tries to take a phone from a student. She gets wrecked, stomped on, knocked out, punched repeatedly, and school members are trying to figure out what to do. Fortunately, it looks like there might be possibly a Marine getting involved, stopping the kid. Teacher is completely knocked out, and the kid's still trying to get in there and get his licks in. Fortunately, there's a Marine recruiter there, it looks like, and this is all for taking away his video game he was playing on his phone. Boom! What's up, you guys? ByronRodgers Tactical Protection Review. Learn protection strategies from a protection professional. What can we learn from this situation that can help us avoid things like this taking place on the campuses of this school? Get ready to share this because we need to change the way we do things on these campuses. What do you see here right now taking place, right? You see, looks like there's a law enforcement officer coming into the picture. So they have a campus safety officer there. It looks like people are now reacting to this. You know, as a type of, as a man that runs a boutique private security company in Southern California, we put teams and strategies around people all the time, around their corporations. In my opinion, this looks like a breakdown of a few things. We have a teacher who has a situation where she's confiscating something from a student who's bigger and stronger than her. It looks like she's already walking to get away from him. She probably feels unsafe. A breakdown in systems, right? If as a teacher you have to do something and you feel unsafe in doing it, you know your students and you feel like there might be a degree of something unsafe, then this is time to use your systems. Call for backup, call for support, call for help. There are a lot of things to unpack here, and don't worry, I'm going to get to all of them. Now, the other part of this situation is here comes the safety officer right here, okay? Now, I love law enforcement. I say this with respect to law enforcement, but as a combatant, as a man who was in the Marine Corps and understands what it takes, and as a guy who puts together teams to do this exact thing, to protect campuses, churches, corporate structures, families, I can sit here and I can say that you must be ready, combat ready, you must be work ready, you must be ready to perform the task that you are tasked with. There is a righteous, meaning in right standing, responsibility that folks that need to be able to outperform other human beings must be able to maintain and uphold. Your physical fitness is something that is extremely important. If you have private security professionals, law enforcement officers, and people like that you are paying to protect you, they need to be physically fit. And unfortunately, it looks like this law enforcement officer was not physically fit, and that is unacceptable. So search yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. This individual looks like a grown man, okay? That is a large male, okay? That is a grown, large, formidable male, okay? This gentleman right here, the law enforcement guy, not to continue cracking on him, but might have a really hard time dealing with that guy as is, let alone could never get in position quick enough to be able to stop and get in the middle of something like this that's happening. Okay, so you've got to be realistic about that first and foremost. Systems, right? Does the staff member have the ability to call for help if they don't feel safe? Is it in your emergency management plan? Is it in your SOPs? Okay, we live in a society where we have active human threats taking place constantly on school campuses and everywhere. There should be an emergency management plan that accompanies all these corporate structures and environments like this. Okay, so what do people do when there's a possibility of risk that is elevated in their environment? Could she have called for this officer to come at least stand in the room, right? Could she at least have called for help? That's another consideration. The third consideration is just simply that we live in a society now where emotional intelligence is at an all-time low. Beating your teacher for taking your video game, and it might be something deeper than that. Either way, this is the type of behavior that we need to begin to mitigate and accept the reality that there are risks associated with doing this job as a teacher in these environments. There are risks associated with sending your children to a school campus that does not have security or law enforcement. But if law enforcement is attempting at securing the campus, they have got to do better than this. We've had some human threat scenarios and active shooter scenarios where we've seen law enforcement fail. My suggestion is we go to private security and we secure these campuses the same way private security secures everything up to military equipment and officials and banks and many different things. I mean, you think about it as a bouncer at a bar. You're dealing with drunk, disorderly, aggressive, illogical people on a nightly basis, mitigating risk to the organization, the bar, the club, whatever it is, and keeping the patrons safe at the level of private security. I personally believe in this day and age, it's almost negligent not to have a security department and security assets on your campus. And as parents, if you're sending your kid to a place with no security assets and just nice civilians that are supposed to stop someone if they want to become violent, I believe it's something that's negligent. So I think as a parent, we should be speaking up about these things. What is the security structure and stance at this school? What if a student does go active and there is an active shooter scenario? What if a student does start beating up my son or daughter at school? This is something that we need to solve, but it's not a sophisticated equation. There are plenty of other spaces and campuses and structures and organizations that are protected very well by private security every single day, reality that we experience here on the planet. So it's not a complicated fix, but it's something that we all have to realize needs to happen. And I don't know how many more people need to die or get beat up on school campuses before we understand that we need to bring in assets that can bring on-scene accountability to these types of environments instantaneously, compartmentalize a threat, call in law enforcement, get it dealt with properly, and or extinguish a threat if needed, right? And that can be everything from exposed weapons to plain clothes without weapons. You guys can argue about it, but this is something that I'm passionate about because it's something that I do and it's a protection that I provide. But now in a society, this student could have gone active and beat up another student. That student probably has beat up other students. That student sees that violence is a tool he can use when he wants to use it. And this type of behavior and level of emotional intelligence and all these things is on the rise in our society. So I send this video, and I hope you guys share this video just to start the conversation and start the idea and the thought in our society that we need more protectors, and we need to bring those protectors to be around our most valuable assets at our schools, because no one should be enduring behavior like this from someone else's kids that don't have discipline. No one. Daddy needs to be home. This means there needs to be some type of accountability, strong, formidable, good people on campus that can stop the atrocities and tragedies that we have seen perpetuated in our society as of these recent years. And this is a conversation for adults to be having with adults. And it's something that is very important. And if you share this video, maybe we can save some lives, because we can get some people thinking this way so we can create a safer environment for our students to go and learn in. ByronRodgers, protector by nature and by trade. I'm a man of peace, and this is your video. Quick reminder to be peaceful, but not harmless. I'll see you guys on another video. If you want to talk about emergency management planning, standard operational procedures, use of force on campus, all of those different things, you can find me at bravoresearchgroup.com. Thank you. Out. Boom! It's finally here. Go to protectornation.com to join the Protector Nation community. Learn online and become part of our Protector Nation family. I look forward to seeing you guys there, and for us all to join forces to make the world a safer place by helping good people to become more dangerous. I'll see you there, and until then, be peaceful but not harmless.